Hello and welcome to Uncommon Game Showcase. In this installment, the game is Arcana Heart for the PlayStation 2. Arcana Heart was originally released in Japan in arcades in 2006 and ported to the ever-popular PlayStation 2 a year later. Arcana Heart was developed by Examu, a small team that previously worked on the SNK fighting game Samurai Shodown 5, one of the final games for the Neo Geo AES and MVS. The PlayStation 2 build of Arcana Heart is largely considered to be arcade perfect. So you might be wondering, what kind of game is this? Well, it's a fighting game, actually. It's a fighting game that consists entirely of women and girls. And this is entirely a moe-based fighting game. Now, depending on if you know what moe means, this game may or may not be for you. If you know what moe means, then chances are probably you'll like this game. But if you don't know what moe means, well, you probably want to steer clear. This is a cult classic outside of Japan, but in Japan, this is one of the games that's top tier, along with games like Melty Blood or Street Fighter even. So yeah, this game allows you to choose something like, there's 11 characters, and they have something that's called Arcana, and I'll get in that when I show you the gameplay. Alright, so I have the game already in my PlayStation 2, so here we go, booting it up. Oops. Although the game sold like crazy in Japan, it was a commercial failure in the West. And as a result, Arcana Heart 2 did not get ported to the Western world. Although eventually Arcana Heart 3 did, but in sort of weird ways. Alright, so Atlas, gotta love them for giving these weird games a chance in the West. Let's see what I can do for this. Does that help? Of course, being a moe-based fighting game, all of the different characters represent one particular fetish or another. Alright. Now, I'm not particularly amazing at this, but I will show you a little bit of what I can show. So, there's 11 different characters here. I'm going to play as Saki here, because her attacks are fairly easy to pull off. Now, the game has two different modes, Arcana Heart and Arcana Heart Full. Now, what this is actually the original version of Arcana Heart and Arcana Heart like 1.1, the patch version of the game. This makes the game more balanced and some of the characters less overpowered and some of the abilities that the characters have more balanced. In addition to playing as your character, you can select one of these different abilities which are called Arcana. And what they basically do is give your character different super moves and special attacks. Now, since you can attach any character to any different Arcana here, there is a total of 121 different combinations in the original Arcana Heart, which is pretty crazy considering that this is, you know, just should be just a throwaway fighting game. The story, of course, makes little to no sense. Like, you got nuns that get some sort of disaster, I don't know. People don't buy this kind of game for the story. So you can choose the stage that you start at. Let's do this one. Okay. Leave it like that.
Ready? Fight!
Now, these characters are entirely sprite-based, and they look just fantastic. This is like some Metal Gear quality sprite work. And easily one of the best looking fighting games for the PlayStation 2. You have 3 attacks, a light punch, a medium punch, and a fierce punch, or, you know, light attack, medium attack, and fierce attack. There is also a weird other button, which is like the magic ability or a zooming button. Holding this down lets you home in on your opponent from wherever you are. In addition, there is another button that does the Arcana attack. So I'm going to use that right now. Time up. That's weird.
Ready? Fight!
The Arcana Heart shows for this fight allows Saki here to actually recharge some of her energy if she's lost in battle. So it's a sort of like healing item. But as you can see from the battles, the sprites are incredibly well detailed. Choose a different character. Let's go after the Gothic Lolly here. The if there's one thing that Japanese love, it's the gothic Lolita style. Especially when it's German. I know Moe, but I don't even... I have no idea, you know, just can't wrap my head around this one.
Ready? Fight!
That unlaunches my Arcana attack. I just keep blocking my attacks over and over. Boot to the face.
Ready? Fight!
While not quite as user unfriendly and beginner unfriendly as games like Melty Blood or Guilty Gear tend to be, Arcana Heart is still not really a beginner's fighting game. This game is kind of for the hardcore fighting game fans who know this genre inside and out. You can't simply win by using just standard Street Fighter type moves and expect results. I have had this game for several years now and am somewhat proficient in Saki's abilities. But give me any one of the other girls and, I don't know, just mash buttons and stuff happens. Alright, so I'll show one more fight. Okay, I gotta fight her. No choice. Okay. Of course, if you have the Japanese version of this game, you will get the Japanese voice acting, which was removed for the North American version, even though the game is clearly really only targeted towards the hardcore otaku. So I don't really see what they gained by taking it out, but whatever, they did, so too late to complain about it now.
Ready? Fight!
notice that as you get closer or further away from your foes, the sprites actually will change in size. And this actually has a cool little effect to make the game look even better than it would otherwise. What's great about it is, even though the sprites are high resolution, there's no sort of softened filter effects to sort of get away the pixels away from the sprites. So the game looks really great and really fantastic, but it doesn't get marred by, you know, some sort of like weak Vaseline effect, which is typical in what you'd find for most HD games. This game is fine with being SD, and so am I. Of course, just as you'd expect, the fights get more difficult as they go on. With the computer doing some pretty nasty abilities that I wouldn't possibly be able to pull off. And that, in a nutshell, is Arcana Heart. A pretty interesting and good-looking fighting game for people who are, you know, generally sick of playing Street Fighter over and over again. Is it as good as Street Fighter? Well, no, because it's not made by a massive company like Capcom, but in fact made by a tiny developer. But even so, the PS2 version of Arcana Heart is probably as good as you could get. The game also was released for PC, but the PlayStation 2 version of the game is, like I said, largely considered to be arcade perfect. And if you like Arcana Heart, or if you like fighting games, this is a great game to pick up. Because it was unsuccessful in sales in North America, you can typically find the game for very cheap. You can about $5 or $6 at most. So definitely get out there and check it out if you like fighting games, or if you like interesting games that break from the norm. It's not a bad game by any means, it just didn't sell well because of its highly specialized moe genre. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments about this game, feel free to drop them below. I'd love to see what people think about this game. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Let's go after the robot fetish women thing. Subtle.
Ready? Fight!
Alright, see you guys next time.